Well, folks, today Nintendo dropped a Splatoon 3 side order overview trailer on us, which basically inadvertently confirms that we're not getting a full general Nintendo Direct this week. So today I wanted to talk about what that means, what it might mean for a potential partner showcase, and what that might mean for the future of Switch 1 games, and also a potential March reveal for the Switch 2. Of course, if you're new here and haven't subscribed already, and you enjoy Nintendo Switch speculation, discussions, theories, all of that stuff, I really would appreciate you subscribing. Let's get into it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games, and yes, today we are talking about not only the Splatoon 3 side order trailer, but also the implications here for what this might mean for the future marketing from Nintendo. So I already posted a video going over the side order trailer, giving my thoughts on that and reacting to it. Looks fantastic. Definitely go check out that if you haven't already. But I wanted to talk about, it's not looking too good for not only Team 2025 for Switch 2 release here, but also it's just not looking too good if you are a fan of new game announcements, because nothing is in sight now. And just to catch you all up if you haven't been paying attention, Nate the Hate, a pretty reliable insider, had said that they had heard it will be a partner showcase for Nintendo games, not a full direct. Universo Nintendo's Necrolipe had said that they had heard the direct would be on the 15th, but that they didn't know the format. And now with all of this stuff coming together, there's that whole Penny's Big Breakaway thing potentially being shadow dropped on Thursday. It's seemingly very likely that we will get a Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase in place of a full general Nintendo Direct with first party announcements. And the reason the Splatoon 3 side order trailer is so important, it's because if there was going to be a general Direct anytime soon, that trailer would have been in the Nintendo Direct. So either we're getting a partner showcase or we're getting nothing at all at this point, in my opinion, and I would much rather have a partner showcase than nothing. But it doesn't stop there, because over on Twitter, Puro was asked, are we getting a partner showcase this week? And Puro replied, I'm not aware of any imminent first-party announcements at the moment, which isn't what the person asked. The person asked, are we getting a partner showcase? And Puro replied, I'm not aware of any first-party announcements, meaning they're probably aware of a partner showcase. They inadvertently are saying, yeah, it's going to be a partner showcase. At least that's the way I'm reading it. And of course, Puro, if you aren't aware, has never been wrong. They leaked the past 2 Nintendo Directs in their entirety, basically, when it comes to first-party Nintendo announcements. They are an insider that does not miss, and if they haven't heard about any imminent first-party announcements, it's not looking too good here. Which, frankly, you know, is disappointing from, like, a gut check. Like, okay, I want to see more first-party games announced for the Switch. And I still think those games are coming. Like, I don't think there's just going to be no new Switch 1 games before the Switch 2 comes out, aside from Luigi's Mansion and Thousand Year Door, which we'll talk about. But I guess it just means the marketing and messaging from Nintendo is going to be a little bit different as we transition into the Switch 2 than I expected. I was expecting them to basically lay out the lineup for Switch 1 before the Switch 2 comes out, but that clearly isn't going to be the case here. And I guess we'll start there, right? Luigi's Mansion 2, Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. When are we going to see these games? I think it's safe to assume they'll probably just get dated with new trailers on Twitter in the coming weeks, but when? Because based on Nate the Hate, based on other reports, it looks like the Switch 2 will be revealed in early March. Could these games be a part of a Switch 2 reveal? Like, that wouldn't really be... Like, that's not exciting, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna have a big blowout reveal for the Switch 2, I don't think you need to be showing ports and remasters of old GameCube and 3DS games. Not like that. Not ones we already know about. Like, that just wouldn't be that exciting. So to me, I feel like these games have to get dated before then. But then, in the end of February, we also are probably getting a Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day, which in of itself could announce another Switch 1 game, but I don't know. I'm just very confused on the messaging here. Like, when do you think we will actually get release dates for Paper Mario, for Luigi's Mansion 2? You know, I think next week, based on the fact that we got Splatoon 3 side order this week, as well as previews from press, like they already played it last week, I think it's likely we'll get press previews and a new trailer for Princess Peach Showtime next week, like early next, you know, maybe next Tuesday. But Luigi's Mansion 2 and Thousand Year Door are just a complete mystery at this point, and I feel like we need to hear something sooner than later. Like, before the end of the month, at least one of these games has to be dated for April or May, because after Princess Peach Showtime, we know nothing. Though, of course, like I mentioned, there is the Pokemon Presents. I did make a video talking about what could be in that. I think it's, you know, all but guaranteed we will get a new mainline game announced, be it a remake of Black and White, a new Legends game, whatever it is, as well as the possibility of a spin-off. And if there is a new Mystery Dungeon game or something along those lines announced, that would help pad out the Switch 1's release calendar until the Switch 2 releases. Now, if the Switch 2 is releasing this year, I would say the earliest we see it is September. I'm seeing people talk about June or even May, and it's like, no. They're not going to announce this thing from, they're not going to go from not acknowledging this thing's existence at all to releasing it within 3 months if it's revealed in March. Like, that's just not going to happen. So in my opinion, the earliest it could release is September, more likely November, and I still think 2025 is possible, by the way. But given that, I mean, they're going to have some sort of first-party software to get to September. Now, if you look at it as it is right now, we have Princess Peach in March, then you could assume maybe Paper Mario in April or May, and then Luigi's Mansion 2 in June or July, which would then leave August open, and then September could be the release of the Switch 2. But I feel like that's really not enough, and I understand the eagerness from fans to just move on to the Switch, but you have to understand, people are still buying the Switch in the millions, and more importantly, first-party software is selling in the millions. Like, currently, as it stands, Switch 1 games, like, if Luigi's Mansion 2 released on Switch 2 versus Switch 1, for example, it would sell more on Switch 1. Like, no duh. The Switch 2 needs time to build that install base, so to just completely high and dry leave Switch 1 owners in the dust and not release that much more software, it doesn't feel that smart, does it? Even if it's more ports and remasters, like, I feel like there has to be more to this year than just Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2, and I'm still expecting more. Of course, Pokemon, I think, will be a Switch 1 game, but when do those other games come in? Like, when would we see them announced? Will they just be on Twitter? I do think, and I'll talk about this in tomorrow's video, I do think there's a possibility of another Nintendo-published game actually being in the partner showcase, be it a new game from Square Enix that they published, be it a new Warriors game. Like, I think there's possibility there as well to pad out the schedule, but then also, it doesn't really sit right with me that we aren't going to get another Nintendo Direct with Nintendo Switch games. So what I think could happen here, if we get a Switch 2 reveal in March, right, as a lot of us are expecting now, if we get that Switch 2 reveal in March, and then a couple weeks later, Princess Peach Showtime releases, at that point, maybe that's when they give a date for Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion, but then maybe in early April, we actually get another general Nintendo Direct focused on Switch 1 games. Like, in the tweet announcement, they just say, hey, this is for Switch 1 games only. Don't get your hopes up for Switch 2 crazy reveals. Because at that point, we'd probably know, like, okay, they're going to do another presentation in June. I think they would announce that alongside the reveal of the console. Maybe we get a Switch 1 focused Nintendo Direct in April, and that's where they reveal these games. Because at that point, they can say, hey, Fire Emblem 4 Remake, Mario Party, Mario Sports, like, all of these games, yes, they are Switch 1 games. They're going to be playable on Switch 2. They might even look better, so get excited for that. They can kind of market them as Switch 2 games, but only after the Switch 2 is announced, which might be why they chose to not do a full direct in February, because they're waiting to announce the console before they can really market them as, like, I don't want to say cross-gen games, because I don't think, like, Thousand Year Door is going to have a native Switch 2 version, but they can market them as games that you can play on your Switch 2. It is definitely a wild time to be a Nintendo fan because, you know, we're just on the cusp, right? We are weeks away from so many exciting announcements, but at the moment, with no official word from Nintendo, kind of just feels like I'm losing my mind. Like, when are we actually going to start seeing these new announcements that we're expecting? Hopefully soon. It looks like early March would be the reveal for Switch 2 at this point, I would have to say. Or maybe that's just me being hopeful because I just want to see some new Nintendo games get announced. But even beyond that, yeah, I'm just really curious of the placements of the Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 release date, and also just when they actually will release. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of all of this madness going on in the Nintendo community? Are you expecting a partner showcase this Thursday? I personally am. Like I said, I'll have a predictions video for that going up tomorrow morning. When do you think the currently announced Switch games will get dated? When do you think the Switch 2 will be revealed? Like, there's so many questions, so I would love to get a conversation going down in the comments below. Of course, if you are new here, subscribe if you haven't already, if you enjoy Nintendo videos like this pretty much each and every day, and follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Until next time, folks, peace!